I mean, fucking story of my life. It's just what I'm living right now, and I can totally resonate with this. So I think this is my reading. Hey all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina. I'm an intuitive reader, and we are currently doing an Earth Magic study weekly reading as I'm getting to know this deck here. So I pull one card a week for the collective. It's a collective intuitive reading, and it's just a way for me to get to know the cards, practice you know, my ability to see and express and communicate and support and encourage and love. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. I do this every Sunday, so if you want to follow along, there's I think 48 cards in the deck. So we'll be doing this for another 40 weeks at least. So if you want to follow along, definitely subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when they're coming out. I do other random videos, you know, here and there also. Reminder, I do one card free readings. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing those. I have a few more people to do. So if you haven't gotten your free reading yet and you really want one, definitely now's the time to ask, because I don't know how much longer I'll be doing those. So get it in while it's hot. Okay, so the first card, or the card for this week for us is Summer Solstice, Radiance. Few things come up for this. Great card. The first point that comes up for this is that point of to thine own self be true. It's that point of you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to know who you are, because in knowing who you are, you can fully live and express yourself without shame, without fear, without judgment, without needing another person to tell you who you are, without looking outside of yourself. Radiance is that point of self-established here of who I am. I am here. I know who I am. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know what I prefer. I know what I don't prefer. And I can make decisions within how I express myself, how I direct myself, how I create my life according to who I am and my likes and dislikes, my preferences and non-preferences. You know what I mean? So this is that point of like knowing yourself. Know yourself. I mean, who are you? Isn't that like the question we all came into this world to figure out and answer? Isn't that the question that's been on everyone's mind since the beginning of time? Who am I? Who am I? So yeah, it's that point of understanding, who are you? Ways in which I've established my realization and understanding and clarity on who I am is, I mean, my whole life experience. Obviously every experience I've had has allowed me to see me in a certain way, and based on that I've decided, is this really who I am? Is this really what I want to live? Is this really how I want to exist? Is this really how I want to participate with life? Is this really who I am? Recently, in this last year, since becoming a mother, I've made, I would say, the most profound realizations for myself in terms of understanding who I am. I feel like I've walked majority of my life as this, you know, meek, weak, insecure, self-doubting, self-questioning, judgmental, shameful little person who, you know, was just, and even that there's a judgment still there. It's like I was just this innocent little person, this innocent little girl looking for herself and wondering, who am I and why am I here? And I walked my lifetime, like we all do, through experiences to realize who we are. And as I was saying, this year really came into full focus who I am. I really stepped into the realization of who I am, and who I am, you know, I experience as expressions and inclinations of mine of how I feel about things and how I want to do things and how I want to engage with people. And yeah, it's just that point of it's important to know who you are. So things that you can do to get to know yourself. For me, the most, I would say, crucial things that I've done, because I walked a whole decade of very like intense self-inventory, self-reflection, you know, looking in, writing out all myself, writing myself out in every detail. And then I got to a point where it became more physical, where it was time for me to connect with my body. And in doing that, that's where I started to really come alive in this realization of who I am. Once I connected with my body being like the physical vessel of who I am, there is where I found much more concrete evidence and experience of who I am. So music was crucial. A friend shared with me a technique where you get some headphones, you put on some music that resonates with you, music that you like, music that you're drawn to, music that you want to listen to. Put some headphones on, listen, and let whatever moves in your body move. There could be feelings and emotions, energies, these things that build up. You could feel a swell of a ball enter your chest, and then it comes up out through your eyes and you're just bawling. Let all of that happen. It's like, let the music move into your physical. It's like letting the sound penetrate your physical body. And in that, for me, I felt like it broke up some blockages, it broke up some stagnant parts of my body, things where I was holding certain experiences. So music was crucial for me in getting to know who I am by connecting with the body. Another thing was, I've been practicing yoga for years, but Kundalini yoga in particular was very supportive in aiding me to reconnect with my physical body and so myself, because there's a lot of breath work involved with the yoga. So there's like the breath of fire, and it's basically like creating prana, they call it, which is life force, which is the breath of life. You know, it's like using your breath, using your life force to, you know, engage and kind of push the physical body. And you put yourself kind of in, you know, like exercises can be hard and challenging, and so with the breathing, you're putting yourself in these challenging positions and like holds, and you're like pushing your physical body to the limits, but you're using breath to maintain that directive and stability. And I find that it's still very supportive for me in connecting and aligning with my physical body and so who I am. Another thing I did was, I would say those two are the most crucial. And then the third is I gave myself permission to explore. I gave myself permission to see who I am in my interests and curiosities. What are the things, because in my lifetime, I held back a lot. I never allowed myself to really explore things that I was interested in because I was shameful. I thought, because I was so heavily indoctrinated with this idea of morality, that I thought what I really like and am interested in is inherently bad and evil, and there's something wrong with me, and there's something wrong with what I like, and there's something wrong with how I want to express myself. And so I kept myself in a very confined way of being based on morality, based on right or wrong, which is so limiting. Once I removed that block and allowed myself to live and express and explore, then I was allowing myself to do things that I actually want to do, that are fun for me, that make me feel joyful. And in that, I felt alive. It's like, oh, right, this is the purpose of life, of living, is to actually feel alive and good and joyful and free. And so, you know, that was another point of like, I started to allow myself to do things that I wanted to do, that sounded fun to me. You know, it's like giving myself that ability to play and to explore and to have fun and to lighten up, essentially. So those are the three things that I've done this year to really reconnect with myself and who I am. And through those applications, really come into an understanding of who I am. So it's been amazing, and I feel like I do radiate. I feel like I am radiance. I feel like I am amazing. Like there's this self-love and self-worth and self-value that is impenetrable. Like there's no denying this point of like, I know who I am, and I know how much I'm loved and adored, and I know how much I love myself and I adore myself, and I know that in standing in this point, I have nothing but love to give to this world. It's like, all of a sudden my cup is so full, it is spilling out, and I have nothing but to give. And I want to remind people that you are radiant. Who you are at your core is fucking brilliant, and it's brilliance, and it's miraculous. And it's like, I want to remind people who you really are, because we have forgotten. And so let me be a reminder for you, but also be a little encourager for you to realize that you can connect with yourself, you can connect with your body, and you can remember who you are and why you're here. But essentially you can answer that age-old question, who am I? So if that question has ever been on your mind, I suggest that you find ways to connect with your body. And so I recommend Kundalini yoga and music, and I also do meditation, but do whatever feels right for you. This is ultimately the point of knowing oneself. What does it mean to know oneself and know who you are? Is to do what resonates with you. What feels right to you? What feels good to you? What feels natural to you? Harness that, explore that, get into that, because that is going to show you exactly who you are. Because who you are is joy. And so if you can create joy by what you're doing, you're going to see who you are. It's just this, trust me, just trust me, okay? Just trust me. I have no reason to lie. I have no reason to, you know, try to deceive anyone. This obviously though is my experience. This is what I've walked. This is what I've come to realize. This is now who I am. You can see who I am. You can see the transition. You can see the transformation. It's been put out there as I walked it and opened up to it. So it's there for you, and this is the way in which I've realized who I am, and you can realize who you are, and you can live the best fucking life possible. And in gifting yourself with that life, you're gifting others with that life. And you know, this is how we create the way. This is how we create the web of what's best for everybody, is by living what's best for us. So shine bright, little stars, shine on, shine bright, find that inner sun, that inner radiance. Go to the source of who you are. Find that source of life within you, because that's really who you are. And how it will express itself, we shall see. And I can't wait. And I'm so excited to see what this world has in store for us, and to see what life truly is. And so the book definition is summer solstice. Of course, I don't have my glasses on. The word solstice originates from the Latin word solstitium. Words are definitely muscle memory in your mouth, and so I don't have this muscle memory of this word. Solstitium, which means stationary or stopped. Stiti and sun is soul. This is because twice during the solar year, the sun appears to rise and set in the same place for several days. It seems to be taking a much needed rest before making the next circuit across the sky from one solstice to the next. Its ceaseless, predictable certainty having existed since before the time of our ancestors. There are stories in many cultures that personify the sun as a deity, rather either male or female, often riding the sun across the sky on a boat or chariot. With the summer solstice comes the culmination of the sun's travels that have led to the longest days of the year. The light is now at its fullest and has provided its own brand of nourishment to the land and all of its inhabitants. Celebrations and ceremonies abound. Passion and playfulness are themes. We feel an innate desire to be outdoors in the natural world and reap the benefits of the longest days of the year. We instinctually seek the light, and during this cycle, there is an abundance of it. I have to just say here, because I can totally relate to that point of, I feel like I've been walking this long, arduous journey to get to this point where the sun is finally the highest it is in the sky. For me, I feel like I am the most clear I've ever been. I'm the most beautiful day. Like, that's my experience. It's like I mean, at this stage, in this moment, I am living more of my utmost potential than I've ever lived. And that's pretty incredible. And I know that it's only going to grow and get more. But I can really relate to that in terms of just, you know, the cycles of the solstice. Like, you know, you go through this dark period and you go through this, like, you know, where it's just like not in the sky. It's not, you know, you go through cycles and then all of a sudden the sun's out and fucking everything is amazing. Anyways. Let the radiance of the sun inspire your inner radiance to shine forth. Release your concerns about what may happen in the future and focus on appreciating everything you have that is good and right in front of your face. Allow Father Allow Father, Son to take away your worries and cares. Do something physically active to stimulate your inner light. Dance, sing, but most important, get outdoors. Do not let any negative thoughts or habits stop you. When you are in love with life, you naturally radiate that love. During this part of your cycle, your capacity to love is greatly amplified in one of those supreme ironies of life. The more love you give, the more it returns to you. It starts by allowing the radiant being you truly are to be expressed into this world. Smile a little more. Notice the beauty of nature. See the humor in the paradoxes of life. Show your love, especially to those with whom you are closest. Then smile even more and watch how the world around you lights up. I mean, fucking story of my life. It's just what I'm living right now, and I can totally resonate with this. So I think this is my reading. But I hope you resonate too. Thanks for walking with. We'll see you next week.